Who is the loud one?
I would go with Ciara just because she's always dancing TikTok. Like, I was hoping the TikTok ban would stand.
Oh,
She is TikTok.
Should we go into red line or whatever one is?
I don't know. I don't know if is the ban still up, gone. When's it coming back? I don't know.
The ban is lifted. It's
I'm just
yeah.
kidding. But no, I'm just kidding. Forgive me, TikTok.
What's up, everybody? Cam Heyward here from Not Just Football, here with Hayden Walsh, and we are here at Super Bowl. How you feel about it, buddy?
Good. Radio Row. It's great to be back. It's our third one together. How do you feel?
Feel great. I know we have an interview to toss to, but we have to talk about what's going down this Sunday for the Super Bowl.
Okay. So who do you got? Break it down for me. You're the guy who would know who's going to win. I need to know who I'm betting on.
Don't you dare put me with any betting. I'm not doing that. You just try to make me
He's not
uncomfortable.
betting anybody. I promise. He won't bet.
No, but I think I'm going to go Philly. I think Philly, with Saquon running up the middle, I think they have a good balance there. I like the receivers. I like their defense. They got a lot of pieces on defense I really like. Milton Williams, Jalen Carter, Zach Bond, Slay. And I just think, they can score points fast.
When you look at this game, though, and you take each unit, so the offense, the defense, special teams, maybe quarterback, which team do you think has the most advantages? Is it Philadelphia?
Yeah. I think they have a good scheme where they can mix things up, and they can play different styles. I know everybody likes to talk about KC, and they play a different style. KC's more methodical this year. It's not like they just bum rush you with a bunch of points, but we'll see what happens. What about you? What do you think?
I actually I don't know how you can go against Patrick Mahomes right now. The guy is probably the best quarterback in the league, maybe one of the best quarterbacks of all time. I also think, too, though, because of Patrick Mahomes, the Kansas City defense doesn't get enough credit.
Yeah.
I think they got a lot of good guys. I also love the defensive coordinator over there. I think they have advantages on defense that nobody gives them credit for because Mahomes blocks that. You get the Mahomes, the Kelce's, and everyone forgets that Chris Jones is on that other side, too. And it's like the Kansas City defense gets no love.
Well, I think the defense is really good. I think it's not just Chris Jones, though. It's Charles Omenihu. It's George Karlaftis. It's Trent McDuffie. They have a bunch of different players that have shown up this year. Last week or 2 weeks ago, they stopped the tush push of the Buffalo Bills, and that's the reason they won the game. I know the spot wasn't great, but if you look at this game, their defense is going to have to make stops like that versus the ultimate tush-push team in the Philadelphia Eagles.
All right, so real quick before we go to the interview, if you're Philadelphia's defense, how are you going to play Patrick Mahomes? And if you're Kansas City's defense, how are you going to play Jalen Hurts?
I'm going to mix up schemes on Pat Mahomes. I'm going to not stay in man because if you stay in man too long, you're going to have a Xavier Worthy. You're going to have Juju Smith-Schuster mix things up. They do a great job in their crossing patterns. And then if you're staying zone too long, Travis Kelce's going to pick you apart. So it's got to be a good balance of, different coverages, almost every single play. And then if you're trying to, play Jalen Hurts in, the Philadelphia offense, I think you got to make Philadelphia beat you through the air. You got to make sure your pressure gets home, but you cannot not stack that box. You have to stack the box for Saquon, and if you can take away Saquon, I think it favors you.
So do you think Saquon still goes off, though? He's still going to go off, right? I mean, you can't
We'll
stop
see.
that guy.
I think Saquon has a chance to go off. We saw what James Cook was doing, and, I think he just got tired. I think it's going to be a healthy dose of mixing things up, whether it's quick passing, it's Saquon, whether it's going deep. They have a lot more options than I thought, the Buffalo Bills do. So I definitely think Philly can mix it up with the best of them.
And does Philadelphia have a good enough front to where they can drop more into coverage and kind of get after Mahomes with four guys? Because I feel like the last time we watched them lose a Super Bowl to Tampa Bay,
right.
Tampa Bay got home a ton. They whipped the tackles, and they got to Mahomes, and he couldn't throw it. Is Philadelphia good enough up front to only rush four?
Philadelphia is really good up front. You look at Milton Williams, you look at Nolan Smith. You're getting back Brandon Graham,
Is he
Jalen
playing?
Carter.
Is Brandon Graham playing officially?
I don't know if he is. I think he is. He's been practicing.
Wow.
So, they get another guy like that, another captain, another guy people just, rally around. I think that really benefits them.
All right, I'm going Mahomes, though. I'm sorry. I cannot bet against Mahomes cannot pick against Mahomes at this point until he gets beaten. it's almost like you're an idiot if you bet against it because it's like he just always wins. If the game is close late, man, the guy finds a way to win the game.
Bro, you call me an idiot now?
I didn't call you an idiot. I just said if you bet against him, you're an idiot. You're not betting on the game,
I'm
so it
not
doesn't
betting
really matter.
against him, but you really did try to throw that in there.
No, I did not.
Okay.
You're not an idiot. Think you're smart, but betting against Pat Mahomes is not a very smart move.
All right, I'm going to toss this to the interview we have with Russ and Ciara at Pro Bowl. Great time, great vibes. Take a listen. Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Not Just Football. We are joined today by our first power couple.
I know, first one.
First power couple.
First one.
Miss Ciara and Mr. Russell Wilson. Thank you guys for coming on.
Thank you for having us.
Of course, happy to be here.
Man.
You know what's funny is that she goes by one name and I go by a full name. That's how you know you're a star.
Oh my God.
You're Ciara by
Sir, that's how it should be.
Kobe,
That's how it should be.
Sierra,
Right.
yeah, he's right.
Brownie
Or
points.
Mr. Wilson.
Brownie points. Brownie points.
Ciara.
So
First of all,
silly.
before we get started, I have to say congratulations on the Today Show and hosting. My mom said you carried it, and I didn't get a chance to watch, but I saw the one clip of you doing the Matrix or whatever.
Hey, yeah.
You gonna let him do that?
He don't need to try to do that.
I can do it.
He does. He does the Matrix stuff on the field. I always say he can dance really well on the field, and he can dance nice in the pocket. So yeah. But shout out to your mom because that's really sweet of her.
Yes.
And your mom is really beautiful and sweet.
She is, but we're not gonna talk about her right now.
He doesn't like to talk about his mom. If you bring
I don't
her
like
up,
to
he
make it
doesn't like to
awkward.
talk
I
about
don't
it.
She was
It's
really
weird.
cool. I met them when we were all at your house, and she was so nice and so sweet.
Miss Charlotte is always like that.
Yeah.
Very thankful. We are here at the Pro Bowl. How's it going so far?
Going good. This is fun. I was saying, one, I'm just so proud of Russ. You know, it's kind of crazy that this is his 10th Pro Bowl, and he's one of 30 men to have that under his belt. And I'm always just so proud of him. So he works really hard. So he inspires me. He's my biggest inspiration. But also, we get to come to Disney World, so I'll be happy about that. Yeah, no, but it's been fun. It's really cool. It's so easy. Like, it's really smooth,
Yes.
right? Because out of the years you've been doing it, right?
7 years. I got 7 years Pro Bowl. Not
Yeah.
10.
It was to
but,
say.
Hey,
How's that
man,
feel?
that's amazing.
Yeah.
But
It's
like
cool.
you did Hawaii? Did you do the?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay, not Hawaii. So you came in Florida, in Orlando time.
Yeah, I think we did 1 year was in California or Arizona or something.
Yeah, 1 year was, I know we did Vegas.
Oh,
Yeah,
Vegas
we did a
was
few
not
others.
my favorite.
Yeah. Vegas
What was your
cool.
favorite? Hawaii?
I like Hawaii. My first Pro Bowl was Hawaii
Yeah, I was there with him.
in 2012.
Oh,
was
not
my-
that one, sorry.
2012 was my first Pro Bowl, my rookie year.
Wow.
It was me,
Look
Drew
at that
Brees.
flex. I love the flex.
I guess it's a flex. I don't know. Maybe it means I'm older than. But no, it was 2012, my rookie year, and it was Drew Brees, me, Eli Manning, Ben Roethlisberger, Peyton Manning. It was cool because I got to be around those all-time greats and just watch them work and the thought process and my dreams and aspirations. But the cool part was Hawaii, and then fast forward in 2015. I went to the Pro Bowl, and it was 3 years later or whatever, and I ended up taking Ciara. And the best part about it is actually a cool little story here. The best part about it is the first day that Peyton's up there talking, whoever's talking, and you're like, hey, this year, whoever wins the Pro Bowl, they get whoever wins the Pro Bowl, they get X amount of dollars, but also whoever wins the MVP of the Pro Bowl, you get 2 flights anywhere in the world that you want to go. And I'm like, I'm gonna win this damn MVP. 'Cause in my head, I was like, I'm gonna ask her to marry me, and so I'm like, I'm gonna take her somewhere sweet. I'm flying Emirates.
Yeah.
That was in my head.
Oh, wow.
And she had no idea, and I started doing a whole planning trip thing, and I won the MVP, and I started planning right away. I was like, hey, where do you want to go? Hey, you want to do this game called Travel Roulette? I'll give you 30 places in the world that you haven't been, I haven't been, and that's when everything started, baby.
Yeah, it's so good. That was
The
fun.
Pro Bowl's been good to us.
Wow.
Where'd you
Yeah.
go?
We went.
Yeah, you gotta tell.
Well, we went to Seychelles. And it's funny because I kept saying, he would give me all these places, like, where would you want to go? Would you want to go here, blah, blah, blah. Like, you want to go to Spain? You want to go to this? And then I'm like, Seychelles. And you want to here? And I'm like, the Seychelles. So he remembered, obviously, because I put a lot of emphasis on the Seychelles. Like, I just dreamed, I heard it was really beautiful. And he made my dream come true. So, yeah.
it's funny you bring up the Seychelles because we'll literally be on the bus talking about like travel points, and he's always talking about Seychelles. And I'm like,
It's a vibe.
where did he get Seychelles, and how did he become so cultured in this? You are the reason why.
Of course.
No, honestly, he's like, and his vision, I think, is so crazy with how he just loves to experience life or like make the best experiences in life, which I love about him. So I don't know. It's funny because I said when you're in love, I said your taste buds change. Like I literally eat way more. There's way more options that I'll try now than I ever did, and I feel like I kind of credit him a little bit for that. But yeah.
I just love traveling, especially with her. You know,
It's fun.
She's been. The problem is she's been everywhere, and so there's not really many places I can take her that she hasn't been.
Yeah.
But hence came the game Travel Roulette. So like we're sitting in Paris. She's like, "Hey, can you come? Can you come take? I want you to come to Paris Fashion Week." And I'm very like an open book. Like I'm on the phone, I'm talking, whatever. And she's all of a sudden like, "Why aren't you talking? Like, why are you being so shady?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm just working on something." So meanwhile, I was just planning this trip to Seychelles, and I tricked her. I gave her an opportunity to ask 3 questions. Where are you going? She's like, "Are we going to Rio?" I'm like, "Nope, not Rio. Another place, not that place." And ended up landing in Seychelles, and it was the best time. So I just think we love traveling, we love doing stuff together, and it's a good time.
Yeah, it's fun.
That's cool.
So what's the off-season travel plans look like? What do you guys got planned?
Well, we're really kind of. She's got a lot going on. She's
A
pretty
whole
busy.
lot. Yeah, so I'm actually getting ready to put out more new music, which I'm excited about. Super
Collaboration with
excited.
Russ?
Yeah, behind the scenes. Behind the scenes, okay? More music. I'm also preparing for some really big, exciting stuff. I was about to say it just now, but I can't say it yet. But maybe I just give Cam the exclusive when it's time, to announce it. Okay, that's how we do that. But yeah, no, preparing all that good stuff. And I'm sure in the middle of it, we'll try to do a little bit of travel before he starts picking up with practice and his own practice that he puts together before you guys start doing all the stuff. So yeah.
I love that. I want to ask, this is from our producer, would you guys ever want to do Pro Bowl anywhere else besides Hawaii, like Arizona or anything?
I think Hawaii is amazing just because there's only so many times you could go on a vacation with your family and other teammates, and I think that was always really cool. They had that's a cool stadium there and all that. It's far for the people from the East Coast. We're traveling from Pittsburgh. It's a long ways, but it's a special time. Here's cool because the kids. But once you've done it several times, I've always thought they should do the Pro Bowl internationally somewhere, like Brazil.
I was thinking that in my head.
I always thought it'd be cool as they're thinking about growing the game. I've always thought that it'd be really cool. Like we've gone to Brazil to help spread the game of football, and we've also gone to Carnival for C and some of the stuff we've done down there. And they love sports, and so as they're trying to grow the game, whether if it's Mexico, whether if it's Brazil, I think the Pro Bowls there, guys would get really excited to go, and I think it'd be really fun.
And the fans are crazy overseas. There's like an
Grows the game.
incredible appreciation. I think what I've seen through music, like when you're in places like Japan and they know your songs word for word, but they can't speak one lick of English. It's crazy because they're super like locked in. And what he was speaking about when we went to Brazil, the appreciation and the admiration that the people of Brazil had for him being there, for me being there. He gave some kids some cool football gear, and it just was incredible. So I think I was literally thinking in my mind, Pro Bowl and at least one international version of the Pro Bowl could be super
Gotta be somewhere
crazy.
warm, though.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you do you like the Pro Bowl games, or would you rather have the old school Pro Bowl like experience of a real game?
I love the real game just because I like playing. I'm old school in that way. I think that part's fun when you get to put the pads on and do that. I think obviously, the big thing is the game not being too sloppy though. When it looks like nobody's even trying, that it kind of disrespects the game in my opinion. So I like flag football though. I think it's cool. I think the experience of what we're doing now, it's really just an experience for your families and the fans really. And I think the fan engagement is really everything. Yeah. That's what it's really for. And no matter how we do it, I think we should definitely have something to highlight the guys that have done some great work throughout the year and stuff like that. And these are some of my favorite moments. I think just being around other teammates, other players. I think we got 7 guys from the Steelers. That's special in itself. And so I think it's those things you don't ever want to go away, because those are memories, and those are historic things, and those are things that I think help. So no matter how we do it, I think as long as the game's respected, and it's cool seeing guys like guys make plays and do things last night. They're making crazy catches, and that's cool. Seeing y'all doing the helmet thing last night and all that. Yeah,
we're not gonna talk about that. Yeah. I have my own feelings about that.
But it's those things are good memories.
This is more of a question for you. Over the years you've gotten to see him play. How do you view the game, and how do you feel about him being in the pocket, scrambling around? How do you deal with all that?
Oh, I love it. I have an incredible respect for what he does, for what all of you guys do. I actually grew up watching football with my dad, so I've always
been. Was he a Steelers fan or Falcons fan?
You know what? The America's team, was a thing, but also too.
No.
But also too, because I didn't even say the name. See, I did that.
Yeah, we all know what you meant, though.
But just a fan of like great talent. I wasn't so much locked into a team, as a whole. Like I didn't grow up my whole life saying I like this one team. Like I had an appreciation for, the Jamal Anderson era, or because I'm from Atlanta, so
I gotta give you props on
okay.
that one. Uncle Jamal, you heard that.
Obviously Michael Vick, Deion Sanders, Troy Aikman. I mean, like that was that whole squad over there. But then you had Jerry Rice on the way. It was just so much goodness happening in football that I personally appreciated. What'd you say? What was that whole question?
Just about him and how he plays. Do you ever worry about him?
What's your nerves like? What are your nerves like watching him play?
Well, he actually helped me with my nerves kind of early on, because naturally you kind of feel like, whoo, like when you see someone on his back, you're like, hey, like, I'm like, I wish there was a way to be in the helmet and be like, babe, he's right behind you. But you can't do that. But I'm like, I feel like I'm connected to him. So whatever he goes through, I go through. We're an extension of you guys in some regard. So, he said to me, he was like, babe, I don't know why you be worrying, because when I'm down there and it's in that moment, like I'm really calm. Like I'm good. So when he told me that, it calmed me down. But him saying that to me was really helpful, because you feel like, and my big thing is I don't like missing a snap. That is very important to me, because every snap is critical in football. Whether it's you're getting a first down or whether anything happens, like people will be talking to me and I'm looking past them when he's on the field watching.
What's funny is like I'll get reports from the game, like, how was the box? And Steve's like, it was great. It was like, the celebration. And then sometimes it's like, it was great, but they're not invited anymore. And I'm like, what do you mean? And she's like, well, they keep coming up to me, because she has her seat. She sits right in the front left, whatever, sits there every time in her spot, and she wants to watch, like, when we're out there, and when the defense is out there, when I'm out there. If it's a commercial break, okay, people can say whatever, but if people interrupt her, she's like, get away from me.
Like I can't, so. But I love watching him play, though. I think Russ is really special. I think his ability, like I said, he dances on the field when I watch him. But it's like art in motion. Like his ability to extend a play is really special. I think he's one of a kind in what he does, and it's fun. Like it's really fun. It's exciting. I do have nerves that run all over. When I'm pregnant, watching him play, it's like, oh my gosh, like I'm so sorry, little one. Like that's how because it's like, because my nerves can run wild. But again, knowing that he's calm, like he always talks about pressures of a privilege. So when you're in those 2-minute, moments, like, and I know if he's got the ball in his hand, like I know there's a great chance, and I get excited for him. And so, yeah, it's just fun watching him do what he does. Yeah, I love it.
I was talking with Connor Heyward today at breakfast, and he talked about and marveled about how quickly you learned the offense for the Steelers, and said that even like in March you were making all the calls and stuff. Have you ever had problems learning an offense, or what is the most challenging offense you've had to learn in your long career?
Yeah, I think all of them relate, in some form or fashion. I think reads and conceptually. I always believe in the whys of football. Why are we calling it this? Why is it, and what's the reasoning? What's our footwork and our timing with that play? Mm-hmm. So I think conceptually I've always understood. I've always had really great teachers, since even college and even high school even. But just I think that was always allowed me to pick up things quickly and understand things. Everybody learns differently, right? So I'm I'm a visual guy a lot. So when I see the film, I'm always picturing if a team's in a cover 2 or a team's in cover 3 or whatever, and we're running this play, okay, well, how would I read it? How would I proceed? How do I process it? And I think that's how my mind learns. And then from there as well is like, who's running what, the timing of it, how my footwork changes. If it's a receiver, running out of stack, or if it's a tight end running out of stack and maybe he's coming out of the backfield or whatever that may be. And so all those different things, happen. So for me, I think I'm a big also person that I love to write things down. So I'm a big note taker. Cam probably sees me taking notes all the time, but I
take my own notes too.
I'm literally like taking notes all the time. I would say KT and keep taking notes. And so for me, that allows me to understand the why quicker and process things. So I don't know. I think all the offenses are different, in some way, but they all have relationships to them. And one formation, 1 year maybe something different compared to another. And I think just figuring out the why is what I've always learned.
I want to ask this question, then we're gonna have some fun. Get ready for it. But your old Coach Pete Carroll is back in the system, back in the league. Talk to what it's going to be like to see him in a Raiders stadium, and then being able to coach versus Jim Harbaugh, John Harbaugh?
No, Jim and him are
Jim.
arch nemesis.
So, like, what was that rivalry like watching Harbaugh and Carroll go back and forth? Because I heard they didn't like each other, right?
Yeah.
What's your deal, bro? Remember the USC Stanford stuff?
There. I don't know.
Yeah. What's your deal, bro?
There's some blood there, I guess. I don't know. I think Coach Carroll will do a great job. Obviously, he's a tremendous teacher, communicator. And the two greatest coaches I've ever been around are Pete Carroll and Mike Tomlin. Those guys are unbelievable motivators and communicators. And, I mean, it's just a different breed, man. Yeah. It's like sitting there with Coach Tomlin and listening to his meetings and, his process and how he goes about it. He's the first one there early in the mornings, It's amazing watching Coach Tomlin do his process. And I think with Coach Carroll, he's the same way. He just loves the game. He loves people. He's going to be he's 73 years old running around chewing gum and throwing go balls down the sideline. And on Fridays, he's going to, he's going to be doing the red zone against the defense probably while the offense is on the other side. That's how he processes. But I think that, what's amazing about two legendary coaches in itself are – their success leaves clues. I think a big part of it is just how they go about their business and how they process, and they uplift everyone. So what you're going to get, the consistency of Coach Carroll and his approach, his philosophy. He has a philosophy, and I think he does a really good job of that. And I think obviously Coach Tomlin the same way, man. It just, like I said, those guys are tremendous motivators and processors. So it's like being around guys like Phil Jackson. I've read Phil Jackson's books. Guys like Bill Walsh, they had a philosophy and a thought process of how things should be. And I think those guys do a tremendous job of that. I think funny thing about going back to your question about Jim Harbaugh and Pete Carroll, I mean, he would, Coach Carroll doesn't really get funny about rivalries or whatever. He says, "Oh, it's another game." He said, "This one's different." It's like, is it, Coach? But he would just we used to play some crazy games back in the day. I mean, I remember my rookie year we played in Candlestick, and it was my rookie year. We played at Candlestick, and listen, he's like, "Get ready, Russ. It's, when you pull up to the stadium." And so they would piss on the bus. You pull up, they're pissing on the bus, exit the bus, everything else, and it was wild. And so we, yeah,
her reaction was priceless.
Now Levi Stadium's different than Candlestick. Old school Candlestick was like, you've had the all-time greats play there in those stadiums, and it's an aura to that stadium. It's very, very similar to Acrisure Stadium, Heinz, old school Heinz. It's like that feeling of walking into the Pittsburgh Steelers Candlestick. These are some of the greatest players of all time that have played on that turf, that field. And so I remember my rookie year, it was 3rd and 7, right? And I'm like, I drop back 1, 2, 3, not there. Okay, I take off. I'm gone. Easy first down. I'm in the fringe. I'm scoring. Dude, that thing closed so damn fast. I remember Bowman and Willis, dude. I'm like, shoot. I didn't even, they were man-to-man backs covered, and all of a sudden they turned around and closed quick. I end up sliding and just – but those rivalries, just the games that we used to have, Seahawks versus 49ers were all-time great ones. And I think that those were all the way to the game, the NFC Championship game, to I remember a game we played earlier in the year, it was back and forth. Just there's a lot of those moments. And I think that rivalry between Jim Harbaugh and Pete Carroll will be interesting to watch, to see how they go about it and all that.
All right. Speed round.
Oh, yeah.
We about to get after it. We were going to do newlyweds.
Yeah, we think we could take you guys in the newlywed game. but,
Newlywed.
we think we could take you. We don't know, though.
Because we've been friends since, middle school?
Middle school, yeah.
So-
we got a little bit of advantage, but I don't know. They seem pretty connected.
How you play newlyweds?
We're not doing newlyweds.
We're gonna do it,
We're
yeah.
just going to ask y'all the questions.
Yeah, we're not going to do it. I don't want to
We're
lose.
going to
now.
see if y'all agree
Okay.
on these questions.
Okay.
First one, who's the better chef?
We're both good chefs.
I'm gonna go with Ciara.
I was like,
He knew what that is. That's just a good husband. That's just a good husband, man. That's,
cook,
I
though.
be cooking though.
that's a
He
good
can
husband.
cook.
I make slapping ribs. My ribs, I need to make some for you, Cam.
All right, what's her go-to
Oh
meal
my
then?
gosh.
What's
her
your,
mac and cheese?
My
her-
mac and
her
cheese be
Thanksgiving
fire.
meal I love.
so you guys complement each other well.
Okay.
It sounds
Yeah.
like that.
I like it.
Yeah.
You know, I was gonna say
I see that.
let.
Yeah, absolutely love it. Yes, we do.
I was gonna say let Russ cook.
No,
There you go.
love it,
She
love
said
it, love it, love it.
Who is more likely to get upset if they lose at a board game?
Me.
Babe, we are both intense. We're both
you're
competitive.
Intense, but you're very competitive. The question was, who will get more upset? Are you
More
guys gonna
upset?
Are you guys gonna call problem between us?
That's why we don't want to play the newlywed game.
No
I didn't want to cause a
problems.
rift.
Yeah, okay.
I will get more upset.
He's really, really, obviously really competitive. We're both really
You're
competitive.
competitive, but I get more upset.
I probably can like
Next question.
bring it calm quicker. How about that? No? Okay, yes.
I don't know. You may stay silent quick longer.
Okay, yeah.
Who is the loud one?
The loud one?
Yes.
It depends on what. What do you mean?
What do you mean? Not like when they get upset?
No, just loud. Who's the one who's more rambunctious or?
I would go with Ciara just because she's always dancing TikTok. Like, I was hoping the TikTok ban would stand.
Oh
She is TikTok.
She'll be going to Red Line or whatever the one is.
I don't know. I don't know. Is the ban still up? Gone? When's it coming back? I don't know.
The ban is lifted. It's
No, I'm just
yeah.
kidding. But no, I'm just kidding. Forgive me, TikTok. But no, I'm just, on a serious note, I just think that C is always energy, smiling. I'm more like serious, and then I'll laugh and have a good time. Once everything's done. But she's like all day, just dancing.
Yeah,
Energy.
yeah. He's more calm. He's like this for the most part. He gets excited, but his excited can be like calm.
It is.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah.
All right. Who said I love you first?
I did.
Yeah, he did.
The question is, do you remember where I
we
told
were
you?
in Nick and Sam's in Dallas.
Wow.
Yep.
Man.
In the back
I
corner.
kept playing with her though. I kept telling her I love you long time.
This is wrong.
Oh no.
This is wrong. This
tell
is
her.
really wrong.
love you long time. I would kiss.
That
I
does
would
not
give her a
count.
kiss, love you long
That
time.
was the
What?
first time. That doesn't count.
What?
That
I'm
doesn't
like,
count.
huh?
She's like, I didn't hear that.
No, just remember,
No.
like we met March 26, 2015, right? Okay, never forget that date.
Wow.
We met that day.
Oh, gosh.
Now we're moving along. We're moving along fast in this love dynamic that we have, and so love you long time. And then, but hold on.
I'm like,
don't
wait,
laugh,
what?
don't laugh.
Keep saying
But
it.
no,
It
she
gets worse.
loved it. She loved it.
No,
And she
I would
knew.
be like,
She'd be like, nah, she liked
like,
it.
wait, what? What you saying? What
And
you
then-
saying
so
though?
Then when I said, it wasn't time yet. It wasn't time to, confess my love for her yet. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't time. But I was letting her know I'm gonna be here for you.
There you go.
You like that? And so then that's when it was like, all right. And then I was wanting to find the appropriate time, which was like 3 months later.
I was gonna say, what was the date? You've got to know the date you said I love you. The way you know.
we were
dates.
actually on tour for her. She was she was traveling because she was on tour, and it was like end of May, and I told her, and we had just gone to Corpus Christi, went to a couple other places. She's laughing. And we went to all these different, San Antonio, all these different places, or whatever. And we're in Dallas, and I took her to lunch. And funny thing is, we called Nick and Sam's; they were closed. And I told them, hey, it was me and C, and they're like, hey, we'll open it up for you guys. It was like 3:30 in the afternoon. Never forget. Showed up. We were sitting in the back right corner of Nick and Sam's, in the little booth, and I told her that I love you and this and that, and she's like, I love you too.
I love you too. No.
They would beat us
I
in the
love
newlywed
you
game.
too, baby.
They would
We
beat
We
us.
would definitely beat
Yeah.
you.
They would beat us. They're
We'll have to get our wives.
yeah.
Okay.
We'd be in trouble.
Yeah.
We'd be in trouble.
All right, this should be easy. who was on the aux when you're in the car together?
On the aux.
Yeah.
Like the plug-in.
Ciara.
Or not really plug-in, but Bluetooth.
Ciara's.
Yeah, but you love music.
I
too.
love music. I'm
Do
always
you
on
feel
it.
pressure to play her music though?
Pressure? I love her music.
Well, I was saying, but like,
No,
when
like,
you're on the
play
aux,
other
like,
music.
I gotta throw hers
She doesn't
on.
like
I don't
listening
like-
to it like while she's like if we're just hanging, but like you know what we do, what we both love to do is like when she has a new album coming out like now,
Yeah.
like we love playing her songs. Like she's got a really good song that I'm very excited about, and
Yeah, super dope.
yeah, it's a
I like the
super
What's
dope song.
Happening. That was my song. That was my jam.
Oh, what's up? What's
what's
up?
up?
What's up? What's
Yeah.
up? Yeah. What's happening? Yeah. Thank you.
I
Thank
like
you.
that.
Yeah, no. But he loves music though. He's a super music lover. And he be playing jams. I'm like, who's that? Like he puts me up on games sometimes with music because he loves music. But yeah, it is funny listening to my own music. It's weird. I don't really like listening to me like that on a regular. But when we're, like he said, making a project, if I'm making an album, I need to play the songs back and like see how it feels to me. Like he's the best.
It's kind of like me. I don't like watching my own highlights. I know this is weird. You know, you probably don't sit there and watch your own YouTube highlights. You know, but it's like you're playing your own
Folks
stuff.
on their back.
Yes.
He be pow.
Yes, he does.
Oh my gosh.
I remember he had a hit in Cincinnati. I was sitting on the bench. I stood up. I was like,
I saw Chase Brown's soul leave his body.
that was
that was terrifying. Okay, that was horrifying.
All right, let's not talk about that anymore. Worst taste in podcasts.
Worst taste?
Worst taste in podcasts.
I think we both have good taste in
What
podcasts.
kind of question is
But
that? Worst taste?
He's saying like who like
Worst taste?
that was your question? That wasn't a good question.
Wait.
Usually I'm like, we're going to history podcast. She's got more
History podcast. I can already tell yours is
You
trash.
threw that question to Zach as soon as you could.
I'm probably listening to motivational podcasts. She likes the interesting
I
stuff
like
like
motivational too.
like true crime. You do too, but
do
like
true crime?
she
I
she
love true
loves.
crime.
What's the show
Any-
you love? 48,
listen,
whatever.
Oh,
any woman
48
likes true
hours.
crime.
That's a good TV show. I don't get to watch. I honestly don't get to listen to podcasts that often, just because my world is so crazy.
Yes.
But the type of
And
things
listening
that
to
I would.
listen to true crime podcast where you're taking the kids to school is probably not the best thing to do. So she doesn't
yeah,
do
no,
that.
no, not then. But after I drop them off, not playing. But yeah, no. If I would have the time, I would listen to things like true crime. I love motivational stuff though. We're both like connected on that front. I don't think you can never get enough of that kind of stuff. But I don't know if I don't think neither one of us have the worst taste in podcasts.
Okay. All right. So who picks the movie or TV show at the end of the night?
Ooh, this is a good one.
I would say we do.
Oh, don't you cop out.
Well, I'm not cop out because sometimes like we do have a one rule. What's the rule? Tell it.
Well, we can't watch the show without each other if we start. So like if
I'm
we're-
in that,
because
yeah.
we can't leave each other
You
hanging.
sound depressed when you said that.
Yes.
We can't, but you can't. It's not right? It's like, oh, now you know what's happening. Like you 2 episodes ahead. We can't do that.
Who
So-
talks during the show?
Who's what now?
Who talks during the show?
She has me pause the thing.
That's how you do it. You pause. You
Pause,
pause and you go over
pause,
what you
talk.
just
I'm like,
watched.
Oh, you know
Absolutely.
what's
going
fun?
on? What's going on?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but what my thing is
Wait,
be
can
like,
you pause it, babe? Because wait, what? Can you back? Pause
well,
it.
well, my thing is too is like,
Just we'll get to the next.
what you think is gonna happen? Like sometimes I like watching something, and be like, okay, now, babe, what you think is gonna happen? Like we like to kind of see how things are gonna turn out,
Okay.
or like predict how they're gonna turn out.
Far like left.
No,
right,
but
right.
you-
Well, plot twist.
but you
Russ
know,
already
like-
watched ahead. Russ watched ahead. Didn't tell her.
Cheating, he be cheating. But
I'm watching it. Hey.
the what's the show? The White Walkers,
Walking
Thrones.
Dead.
Game of Thrones.
Oh.
The Game of Thrones.
Oh, wow.
Like that show, that was really fun watching. But you were really good with like predicting some of those intense scenes. Like when
you
we would
cheated.
pause and
You
say
gotta
like,
look
what do
for
you
the blue
think?
and the red. Okay.
Yeah.
If you ever see
Wait, blue
Because
and
red means tell
blue,
me.
if you
'cause-
ever see like blue and red in a show, a movie, and then 2 people like let's say they're in a relationship, those subtleties. That's like an old school like movie thing. So like if let's say you're wearing blue and he's wearing red, something's gonna happen in that relationship at some point. Check it out. Also too,
He's right
Yeah,
about this, though.
it's true,
He's
it's
right
true.
about this.
Also, too, like you got to look for like the subtleties of like who's the person that has like a relationship but it's distant, That person's like, that's the killer.
Did you take a
That's
film
the ones in
class? How do you know all this?
My best friend, one of my best friends in the world, his name's Jordan Farmer, and he's actually
Lakers?
no, but he actually helps run our production company. But we've been friends since I was little, and he's really sharp, and he's a movie buff, knows every movie you can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
But I just have always studied stuff like that, and we have our production company. So I just like I like storytelling in general. So I just kind of go left, and I'm like, I was right, So you kind of like just think that way sometimes.
Yeah.
I love that. All right, that's the end of the quick questions. I want to ask this. This is like a joint question for you. Who's one teammate you would want to play with all time, and then who's someone you would want to do a joint album with?
Oh.
Who's one team I've played with?
Or one teammate or player you would love to play with?
One player that I love to play with that's still playing right now?
Doesn't matter. All time.
I've always wondered what it'd be throwing like to Randy Moss. Like his ability. Like I remember when Tom Brady was throwing the ball to him. It was like they threw 25 touchdowns. It was like easy, but like he running right by everybody. He'd run, jump over 2 dudes. Like him and Calvin Johnson were just like the plays that those guys could make were just remarkable. So I would say it'd be cool to play with a guy like Randy Moss, just because his ability to get open, run past people.
This is hard for me. Because, like, for example, Chris Brown and I, we did a collaboration on my song, How We Roll. And I think that the fans really appreciated us coming together and jamming out in the visual. Like, it's one of my most viewed videos now on my independent label, which I'm super proud of. So I think CeCe and Breezy could be super crazy. I like Bruno Mars. Yeah, he's super dope. And then I feel like it's hard though, because you know who else I really love, but is J. Cole.
Ooh. J. Cole could be sweet.
Because I think J. Cole does so good melodically with records, and he always tells a story in such a beautiful, like poetic, but like hard, like just dope way.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna flip it, and I'm gonna say like CeCe and Cole could be super cool.
Man, I love that.
Yeah.
I'd be in for both those. Yeah.
I love that with Randy. But you and J. Cole could be
Super
fire.
hard. Yeah.
All right, last question. We'll get you out of here. This concerns this guy right here.
Okay.
What are you about to ask?
He thinks he could gain 1 yard.
Listen.
He thinks he could gain 1 yard in the NFL.
Gain 1 yard. He can just
1
make
yard.
1 yard in what way? Running?
Running back. Playing running back.
A running back.
Do we think he can get this?
Oh man.
I admitted after the Chase Brown hit, I said to him, I don't think I can get a yard anymore. I saw you hit it. Out of the last person I want to see behind the line of scrimmage is
The
you.
question is, how many yards are you losing? That's the question.
Oh dang.
How many yards back is the running back?
8 yards.
7.
Sometimes
I'm
he
losing
heals at
7.
sometimes
I'm down.
he heals at 7.5.
Okay, who's my offensive line? What offensive line I got? Because if it's the Bengals, I'm done. I'm not making it. I'm not making it. Okay, I'm not making it. Like I don't think
Let's say
that.
you have like an all-time O-line. What do you think?
What if it was like 3rd and 30, and they think he's passing? And
Well, you got to draw.
Once
3rd and
again, how
30.
many yards is he losing?
Wait a minute. Tush push. Give me tush push. I could tush push, right?
You're gonna fumble it.
I'm with the Eagles. Though.
You're gonna fumble it.
You might not even wake up after that.
No,
play.
I'm getting up.
Head is gonna be chopped
Yes.
off.
Head push.
Here, don't join them.
Okay,
I can get a yard. Come
sorry.
on. Support me, somebody.
I was just gonna ask, like, what would be your strategy? That's what I was trying to understand. Like,
I
what
don't.
would you do?
I piss my pants. I don't know what I would do. It's a horrible question. Let's just be honest about it. I wouldn't gain a yard. Okay, we know it.
And that's how we're going to end.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Ended on a high note.
I want to say thank you to Russ and Ciara for joining us
Thank you
today.
guys for having me.
Yeah, this
You
was
guys were
fun.
awesome. Thank you so much, and we'll see you around.